What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel USPS Twan, where I take you guys unbiasedly along my journey for being a CCA at the United States Postal Service, so you guys can determine whether this job is right for you or not. So anyway, in my last video, I was telling you guys about Amazon Sunday. I also gave you guys a little rundown on my experiences from my first month on with the USPS. I just actually finished my first complete month with the USPS, but I was telling you guys about how it was going so far. So, with me, I'm not sure if this is typical. I don't believe it is, but my office is pretty small. So we have a shortage of clerks at the moment. And in my first 90 days, my first 30 days, I did my on-the-job training when I first came in, which was 3 days. Then I was doing 2-ton training, and that was supposed to be 3 days as well. But, things started kind of getting rocky, and they started doing things unconventionally. And I'd start going to training for the 2-ton, and then I'd go half the day, and then I'd come back to the office and I'd start helping out as a clerk because we have a shortage of clerks, as it appears at my office at the moment. So they've been using me. At the time, they were letting me get a little bit of routes. Not really. They let me do that training, then they pulled me off, and one day they sent me to Georgetown, or an office up the street from ours, and they had me do a route there, which was my first route solo. Then a few days later, I did a portion of another guy's route. He has one of the longest routes on at our station. So a lot of the times he needs help, especially like on Mondays or when we have a lot of advos. So anyway, he needs help on his route, and they were giving me a little bit, like they let me do about 3 stops on his the first day. Then the second day they gave me 5 stops, and the third day they gave me the same 5 stops I did the second day. So they let me do that 3 times. So I've been at this station for about 3 weeks, and those are the only 3 times that I actually got to go out and do a route, even though I am hired on as a CCA. And to be honest with you, it seems like they're trying to groom me into being a clerk or something. I feel it coming. They're gonna try to, hit me with the proposition to become a clerk instead of being a CCA, instead of just going and putting out a job posting for the clerk. Because when I looked on there, I don't remember seeing any clerk positions available at the station that I'm at. But they could have put them up there now, but they don't have a clerk at the moment. I'm not sure why, what the issue is with them getting a clerk. I guess there is a labor shortage, and people just aren't out here looking for jobs, it seems, but not you guys. I know y'all watching the channel, so y'all can find out if this is right for you or not. But anyway, so they have a shortage on clerks. Hopefully one comes in here soon, but again, I haven't been getting the hours on the road that are necessary for a CCA. Like the after my second day going out on that route, like anytime I go out on the route, the manager's talking about, well, you need to get faster, this, that, the other, but I'm not getting any repetition out on the streets at the moment. So the first day I did go out there, I was pretty slow at it because I got lost. Like when I delivered the packages, when I delivered the mail to the mailboxes, like the newsletters and the magazines and the actual bills and stuff. When I delivered all of that to the mailbox, I didn't know the streets at the time. So, I had packages as well. So I had to get turned around and go deliver packages to the doors after I had already crossed over into the other side of the neighborhood. So, just doing a whole lot of running around, coming back. I went to one stop about 3 times, and there were 3 houses in the same vicinity that all got packages, and I, messed up and went in circles going to find them because I wasn't, sure about the packages. Somebody else had packed them up for me. Like, they're not even letting me pack up a case of my own mail. So I can't look at the casing routes either because I'm not there, in order to do the casing, which kind of gives you, an idea of what the streets are because you can read them and it gives them to you in route order. But at the moment, I'm not getting the case mail either. I'm not really doing any job duties that have anything to do with a CCA. So, I've been coming in, working in the office. I did get to do collections one day, by myself, which was a Saturday. I guess somebody else hadn't came in, but for the most part, I'm in the office doing the PSC work, doing the clerk work, and it's decent, but it's again, it's not what I signed up for. It's not what I got hired on for. I took this job as a CCA so I could be out there in the environments and just be on my own in my own zone. I only have to be in the office for 2 hours at most, 2.5 on a rough day, a heavy day, but it's my first 90 days again, so I'm you know, taking it as it comes right now. I have been, you know, I went on the National Association of Letter Carriers site so I could see what the regulations are, because somebody had told me that it's a term called cross-crafting or something like that, where, you know, you're being taken from your position and being made to work other positions that, you know, aren't in your job description. It's cross-crafting. And then, like, in the National Association Letter Carrier website, which is the union that, you know, I signed up for the union for sure, but that's the union website for the CCAs. I believe the RCAs have a separate one. There are like 4 different unions within the post office, but mine is the NALC or whatever it's called, National Association of Letter Carriers, exactly. So, you know, I've been reading up on that, and, you know, there are a few gray areas in there, like, you know, there are a few exceptions to, you know, what's going on. But what I'm gonna have to do, you know, because I spoke to my manager, I spoke to one the first day because I got an evaluation, and that's what, you know, that's when it really, you know, enlightened me and made me want to enlighten myself on this. But I got an evaluation, and, you know, even though I'm doing every single job they ask of me, I haven't showed up late at all. You know, I'm there on time. I'm there until they, you know, tell me I can leave every day. They gave me, I can't remember the letter, but you're supposed to get S's on everything for, I guess, you know, it's not superior, but satisfactory. I guess you get they didn't say exactly what they mean, but I guess it's S for satisfactory on certain job functions. And on dependability, he gave me, I forgot what the letter was, but it wasn't satisfactory. So I asked him, you know, how so? Because, you know, I have been doing everything you asked. And he was like, well, how long? And this was the 3rd day that I got to do that route that I was telling you guys about, with the 5 stops at the end of one of the longer routes at our office. I did those 5 stops, and he was like, well, how long did it take you to do those? And I was like, well, it took me about 2.5 hours today, you know. He was like, well, yeah, that's too slow. But prior to that morning when I came in, the other manager had told me how much amount of time to cut off of my day prior, and I cut about that off. You know, it was a little bit, I cut about 15 minutes shy. He told me cut about 1.5 hours off. I cut about 1 hour and 15 minutes off. So, you know, I was like, well, you know, Mike, that's the amount of time the guy told me to cut off of it. So he was like, well, yeah, you just have to get fast. And I was like, well, in that case, yeah, you're right. I do need to get fast, and I do agree with that. But the only way I'm going to be able to do it is, you know, through repetition and getting out there, learning these streets. I'm not from this area, as I've mentioned prior in other videos. I'm not from the area, so I need to be, you know, getting out here on these routes so I can learn the streets and learn the route, learn when I need to, how I need to sort my packages and all that. It's getting easy because I've been doing other things. And like I said, that route right there has gotten easy within the next 3 days, within the 3 days that I did it. So anyway, I let him go on and make it with that. He was like, yeah, I'll see what I can do to get you out there on the route, but, you know, we have to holler at the other manager as well, and something, you know, giving me the run around. So when the guy who does the route, because me and the guy who do the route, he's the one who made it easier for me, because the first day I did the route, the supervisor gave me a piece of paper with addresses on them, and these addresses didn't really match up to where the community boxes were. So I got lost trying to find the community boxes as well, because these addresses, like, they'll have, like, one of the streets was called like Spring Fever Cove, and they had a Spring Fever Parkway and a Spring Fever Lane and all that, and the paper only said Spring Fever. So, you know, I'm on the wrong Spring Fever looking for it, so I'm running around all the different Spring Fevers, and I finally found it. But the second day, I talked to the guy whose route it is, and he just texted me all the addresses of where the actual box is, and I'm not sure why, you know, management doesn't have these addresses as well, because they can just talk to the people who do the routes normally, and they can get all that information. But anyway, so he wanted me to do it as fast as a regular. So the regular helped me out. He was like, well, you need to do this. So he had me out there telling me a lot of stuff about the route while I was supposed to be loading my truck. So it took me a while to load the truck that day. So anyway, I got back, you know, a little later, and I asked him, well, he got back after I spoke to the manager. He got back, and he was like, I asked him, how long does it take you to normally do this area of the route? And, you know, sure enough, he did say 1.5 hours, which is what the other guy said. But he was like, unless we have a lot of advos, which that day we did. He was like, today it could easily take me about 2 or more hours, because we have a lot of mail. It's like a lot of advos. We don't pass out advos every day, and it's just a lot of mail today. We're backed up still from Veterans Day. So anyway, I was like, well, yeah, that's, you know, I did it in about 2.5 hours. He was like, well, yeah, that's normal, you know, on that. And I'm not a regular. Like, again, this is my second time doing this route. You know, I don't get to Kaiser, so I don't get to see the streets. No excuse, I just need to get out there on the route. So later, the next day I came in, he had me come in at 1 o'clock, so I'm not even getting the 4 hours either. I'm not getting a full 8 hours. I'm trying to keep this video under like 10 minutes, but that's not gonna happen. But anyway, not getting the full 8 hours. So I came in the other day at like 1 p.m., you know, and the post office typically closes around 6, well, it closes in front at 5:30, but there's a lot more work to do in the back still. So around 6, 7-ish or something like that. So, you know, I'm not getting the full 8 on that. And, you know, it just is what it is. So I talked to the other manager and, you know, I was like, Mike, you know what I'm saying? I got an evaluation. Well, he brought it up to me. So I was already going to talk to him about it. So he just, you know, opened it up like that. So he was like, well, did somebody do that evaluation? I was like, yeah, the guy did. And, you know, I want to talk to you about that because I got a less than satisfactory on my dependability. And he said it was due to the time that I'm spending out on the streets. But I've only got to go out on the streets 3 times at this point, and I'm not getting to learn the streets. And if I'm going to be, you know, expected to do that, then I need to be out on the street, you know, working in the office, and they're going to help me with that. So anyway, he was like, well, you know, yeah, well, I agree with that 100%. I can understand that. But then he threw it back on the other guy. Well, that's the other manager's decision, and, you know, we'll see. I was like, well, is there any way we can get me out on the street more? He was like, yeah, we'll see. Whoop, whoop. So anyway, it seems like I'm going to have to, you know, go, because like I said, I've been reading the national agreement that the NALC has, and it you know, it's kind of, you know, a vague description of, you know, what the job really is. It says you can be used at some point, but they have to do certain things. So I'm just gonna go talk to the union president, you know, and ask him, because he, you know, when we were in the union meeting, when we first met him, he said that we can reach out to him anytime, and he usually gets back to, you know, people, especially if they're in the union. So, you know, and we have a union steward at the office, but, you know, it seems like they're pretty close knit in that office. It's a small office, and, you know, they always, you know, buddy with each other. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, you know, and I'm not even gonna like try to get the union president to like take any action. I just want to kind of figure out, you know, what exactly my rights are in this situation, because, you know, they're evaluating me for one thing and having me do something completely different. Like, I'm not even getting to go out on the routes. Like, even when somebody needs help in the office, like as a CCA or a regular needs help, they'll just send a person that's already out there on their route to go get it, while I'm sitting in the office needing route experience and needing to be able to do, you know, CCA work. So anyway, that's just what's going on right now in the life, on my journey in the as a city carrier assistant. You know, it's all good because, again, I'm still getting paid for the other stuff. So that's the pluses. You know, it got its checks and balances. It got its pros and cons to it, just like anything else. I'm still getting paid. You know, I don't know how many hours I'd get if I was doing just the CCA work, but they had a, you know, job posting for a CCA. So at some point they were in need of one. So we'll just see how it goes, see if this continues. You know, I'm not sure how it's gonna be just yet. We just trying to stay positive about it, or we are staying positive, because again, we got a purpose right now that we really going after. This right here is just something that is gonna, you know, be a vehicle to that, you know, to that destination. So anyway, I appreciate y'all for watching the video. Hope y'all liked it, man. If this, I hope I'm letting you guys know if this job is a job for you, you know what I'm saying, giving you my experience of it. A lot of people in the comments are also, you know, giving their experiences and you know, kind of on the same lines as this. Some of them, you know, have different experiences, but a lot of people, this is how it is with the USPS. And, you know, they'll tell you that even in training, like, things aren't, you know, always gonna be, you know, straightforward. You know, it's gonna be a lot of unorganization and all this and that. And they let you know that. So, you know, you'll probably, some people don't even make it through the orientation. I'm not sure why they wouldn't, but, you know, they said they've had people quit in the first week. Like, a lot of people, they had a few other CCAs that were in the office, and they just, you know, abruptly, you know, disappeared, never came back. So I'm not sure exactly what happened, but anyway, I appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.